at popping balloons. It shoots slowly and pops a single balloon and it can't hit camo. But it's a fair downside for the ability to bully defense mode players, so I'll take it. Other than the new Cobra update, Battles had fairly minimal updates apart from maps. There wasn't even balance patches, so Cobra killing you through lifesteal was something you just had to deal with for almost a year, until in August of 2015, when the game finally became playable. Previously, you had to slowly grind for medallions to unlock every tower, but with the introduction of arenas, you just had to gamble a few times and boom, you have more money than you know what to do with. The game is finally playable and the Cobra can no longer kill you with attrition. This update also introduced leaderboards, although they didn't really measure skill as much as they did how much time you wasted on this game. It even added a bunch of new content in the form of different game modes. Anything from double cash, random towers, faster balloons, or even something as ridiculous as the Mega Boosts game mode were all variants of the base game you could play. Battles got so playable, in fact, that I would argue that at one point this game became more popular than BTD 5, which is kind of ridiculous to think about. The spin-off of the spin-off to Bloons was the current trending balloon game. The peak player count of Battles on Steam was 2,500, 800 bigger than BTD 5's, and while this might not be a full representation of the player base due to only counting PC players, YouTube view counts told a similar story. Searching up BTD Battles on YouTube gives you videos with higher views than BTD 5 does. The point being, this game managed to find an active audience, which is quite impressive considering how grindy the game was before this update. The Steam version of Battles came out in 2016 and the first update it experienced introduced emotes. There's no chat system anymore, but I'll take what we can get. Some of the emotes are weirdly intimidating, like this one, which is only available in the battle screen. What are you even pointing at? I don't know what emotion I meant to experience here. And then there's the face palm. If someone spammed this at you, then you might as well surrender, because I swear to God, every time I saw it, I felt like I was doing something horribly wrong. There was also the people who spammed high. I can't tell if this was the latest toxicity meta or a cry for help using Morse code, but it's safe to say this update added a lot to the game. It wouldn't be until June of that year when Clash Royale, Card Battles was finally added to the game. While this was a major update, I never personally liked Card Battles. As the main side mode, it was always going to be less popular than the actual game, but there are some die-hard card fans out there. This game mode itself is really creative. Your loadout consists of a bunch of cards rather than towers, each card letting you place a tower or send out certain balloons depending on whose screen you use it on. This system encourages a lot of thinking, since you have to make sure your deck has cards with both defensive towers while also having good rushes you can send to your opponent. And while I see the appeal, I don't really like card battles that much. You can't upgrade your towers in card battles, which means you're stuck with whatever monkeys you place it down. You also can't send any balloons out that aren't already in your deck, making big balloon rushes impossible as you're restricted to what the game lets you send. These limitations are the reason I never got into it, but then again, it's not a bad mode. One of the cards you can have is called the Kidnap card, and I kid you not, it kidnaps your opponent's towers and takes them away in a helicopter. But all this was just the calm before the storm. Despite all the side game modes, the main game still followed the same Dart Farm Chipper meta, and due to Ninja Kiwi's reluctance to make balance changes, it would stay that way for the next year until update 4.1. This update completely changed how the game was played. Updates would usually be fairly small, like the addition of the Banana Farmer, the Downward Spiral, fast cooldown ZOMGs, and Clash of Clans. And then along came update 4.1, the first real attempt at a balance change. This update was so controversial that not even Sam from Ninja Kiwi made a video on it. Likely to avoid the nuclear fallout that was about that, they brutally murdered the blue chipper in this update, okay? The chipper went from an absolute god to a tower that everybody forgot about, including Ninja Kiwi themselves. The blue chipper will now no longer suck up ZOMGs. These words were so devastating that I dropped the dramatic act, and honestly looking back, this update wasn't that bad. Some of the buffs were really weird, but you can't blame them for trying. I framed this update as some kind of game killer, but honestly the game got better after this point, as new strategies became viable. The ninja went from being useless to being useful, Moab Mauler got 20% attack speed, Mortar became better, and even the boomerang ability can now hit camo balloons, which is cool. But yeah, people were pissed off. By searching the 4.1 update on YouTube, you get thumbnails that look like this. But even so, half the comments on these videos didn't seem to mind the update. I seriously love this update. I have used more different strategies in one day than in 1 year. Not a perfect update, but it's a step in the right direction. Researching stuff like this reminded me that most people don't really care about silly stuff like battles, balance changes. You'll have the one guy threatening to kill the developers because they touched his favorite tower, but most people just go wow. From this point onwards, more balance changes would begin to be made, shaking the meta up now and again. Or they would do the most random change like increasing the wizard's fireball size by 20%. In my opinion, this next era of battles was its best. It had a few mediocre updates, but for the most part, it was a lot of fun to play the game in 2017.
No, 540, fuck, no.